All the superheroes and stuff growing up, man. The one I always thought would be fascinating to be, I wanted to be, is Batman because he didn't have any special superpowers, no insect bites or arachnid bites. He just went straight into training because he had a lot of money and he had a lot of badass trainers.
So what we talked about before is we'd like to see the origins of Batman, where he's first starting out, like the first, like just have the movie concentrate on his first couple of days
Right.
of being Batman.
Being dropped
Uh,
off by
Well,
Alfred.
yeah, being dropped off at Alfred at the corner and being picked up at 2 o'clock in the morning, all beaten up and show him with blood and bruises and needing stitches and different things, and how he dealt with that.
Yeah, that's much better and I'm much more realistic and maybe encouraging people to become a superhero. No,
No,
but,
but don't you think it would be like more like Punisher?
Yeah, it would be. It'd be a lot more fun. It'd be a lot more fan based, don't you think?
Yeah, that's what I would like to see. It is a lot more left to the imagination and stop spoon feeding. I don't need to know whose love interest is, and unless it's a plot in the story and she's gonna get killed,
Right.
why even have
And
her
can we
in there?
please get rid of Robert Patterson as Batman and find
Yeah.
a real character of Batman?
Well, I mean, he could still be Batman if it just starts at the origins because he's about at the right age when he would have started
Right.
out. If they would have just like reboot and doing it in the way that
Right.
just making it down and dirty
as a young guy.
comic, and
Right.
as in the comics. The
Right.
comics doesn't explain anything to you.
no,
No.
no, they like remember the comic books when I had it. They're like, I always look forward to them because to me, Batman just, I don't know. Yeah, he did impossible things. I mean, we don't have nobody who has
No,
money.
but before we get beat up in the comments, we're not taking anything away from the Batman. Batman's fine as it is
Yeah.
now, but we're just saying it would just be cool to
What-
see the origin, Batman origins, even if it was a TV series.
We're just giving our input. That's it.
That's
Yeah,
it.
we're not saying change Batman. No, if you like a certain if you like a certain Batman, that's fine.
I like the Michael Keaton one. I did, though he wasn't that physical quality most people would expect Batman to have. He carried it off pretty well.
But he had the persona.
He had the persona.
He had the look, didn't he?
Yeah.
When he put on the cowl, he looked. I mean, he looked like Michael Keaton, but when he put it on the cowl, he looked like Batman.
Well, did you like? All right, so you like Michael Keaton over Christian Bale or Ben Affleck?
Well, each of them is different. though.
Different,
You
yeah.
can't. I
Right.
don't think. I don't think that you can compare any of the different Batmans because they're different realms of Batman.
Right.
Yeah, I think there's like and the thing is, I wish they would have done so many reboots because we could go back to like we're talking about and one be the big eye roll and people say like, oh, they're doing it again.
Right.
I'd like to, maybe we can come up with another character base something on like a Batman character, but I don't know.
Batman's the only one that stays true and is more. I mean, they're all unbelievable, but he's the most believable of the unbelievable.
Right.
Because how strong is Superman? He should be able to. But he's one man, but he's doing all these things. How does he know to be there where the criminal? You know what I mean?
Right.
Where Batman's stalking the streets, he's looking. He goes out night after night and he sees what's going on in his neighborhood,
Right.
and he can see what's supposed to be there and what's not supposed to be there.
He's got it. And another thing is he has this connection to that city that he feels like he wants to protect.
But who's more gritty, Batman or Superman?
Oh,
Oh,
Batman.
Batman.
So- and what would be cool is Batman in the Punisher
Get together.
sort of go at it,
Right.
and then they get together. They're forced to get together to do something.
Right.
So
That would
that-
be good. That would be really good.
That's
Where they're fighting for the first part because neither one of them really knows who the other one is.
Right. And then they
And
figure
then
it out.
they figure it out and they come together to take care of something big. Oh, that would be an awesome movie.
It may be somebody's
That one I'd be
If,
awesome.
if somebody steals that and you see that coming up in the next releases, just go back and say, hey, Steve Myers is the one that gave him the idea.
I actually like it when they show Batman being a little bit older. When he's like a little bit older, like Batman.
What do you mean, the cartoons?
Yeah, no.
Or adult animation?
Yes, adult.
Well, another thing is, did you ever see that? I think it was Christian Bale played the character of Batman when he was showing all the injuries he did.
Yeah,
Right.
we talked about
Yeah.
that. That was cool.
Yeah, that was
Right.
that was like, I mean, let's face it, that kind of crap is going to take a physical toll on a human body. I'm serious. And he basically couldn't do anything hardly. He was just crawling around, walking around with pains.
He'd be screwed up for months.
Right. It's like, yeah, I mean,
And that's what I would like to see. Like I said, it'd be like the origins, but that would really be cool if the Punisher. I don't even know if are they even in the same realm?
No, but you can put them in the same room.
Well, they have DC and
Marvel.
Marvel. I don't know which character.
I
he
think
is.
they are though. I think
Somebody will correct us. They always do on TikTok.
Yeah, it's like well, I think Stan Lee created it. No, that wasn't Stan Lee created Batman, was it?
No.
No,
No.
Oh.
But-
Batman's always been in DC.
in DC.
Yeah.
But what did you think of what part of the Trump
Speech.
speech last night that you liked the best? The one that I liked is where the Democrat he mentioned it's more like a failure on Ukraine that he thought that he could do it, but he hadn't been able to do it. In long story short, the Democrats clapped because he was unable to end it, and he said, "Well, obviously you wanted to go on in another 7 years." Oh, Pocahontas approves.
Right.
I love that shot at her.
Oh,
'Cause
that was funny.
I think I kind of think it's kind of cool in a way because he is like basically the show is kind of a bizarre sense of familiarity or kind of a camaraderie of sorts because he ribs these people,
But
he
for-
roasts them.
But for me, what added to it is old Mike on the right is just trying to be stoic and everything. Freaking JD Vance, he had everything but his boots up on the thing and laughing, slap. I swear he's slapping his knee when Trump did that
Well, see,
to her.
JD Vance, because I'm reading the book now about the Hillbilly Elegy or something
Yeah.
like that, his story, and he is somebody that all of us, you here sitting here, could
Anybody
actually-
else would have been fucked up. I'm
Yeah.
sorry for my
Yeah.
French, but anybody else would have been fucked up if they went through the experience that he did
Right.
as a little kid.
And the thing is, he came out of it a stronger person. I mean, and I hate the left. They say they speak for the disenfranchised and the poor, but they love to mock people who are from the Appalachia. They're the poor. Yeah, they hate they vilify those people. They mock them because they are poor, but everybody else on the planet who's poor, they're supposed to be the benevolent speaker.
Whether they want to admit it or not, JD Vance is very intelligent. Well, everybody that Trump's got around him are
Very intelligent.
super intelligent.
I mean, there's no way, there's no compare. I mean, I know that the ones that they had on the left and went, behind Biden and stuff like, they all went to a lot of the same schools. But is when it goes to practical real life experiences, they don't have. The people that Trump chose actually have real life experience in the business world. They had to prove themselves. They weren't like some protected little ensconced political type all the time. They have people in the real world.
You know who Trump reminds me of? Lee Iacocca.
Okay. Yeah.
You know why? Because Lee Iacocca used to say, I don't know it all, but I'm going to put people around me that don't agree with me, but actually know what they're doing.
Right.
And I want them around me. And he put smart people around him and made.
But that's what they
Maybe
do. Okay,
good.
I don't know. I was up higher in the ranks, I think maybe, and that's what they teach you to do is know yourself and know your people around you, and exploit their
strength.
strengths and work on their weaknesses.
There's no way in hell can anybody who goes into the role of presidency to have all the expertise that they know, all the areas they have to have expertise, and there's no way in hell. And that's the reason why kings used to have advisors or visitors or whatever,
Right.
viziers or whatever. That's what they had them for.
But Trump, I think he learned so much from his first time around with these people, and he had so much time. He's probably like a football player, a basketball player, looking at game tapes,
Right.
just knowing, if they do this, I'm going to do this.
Right.
If they do this, or I'm going to get them to do this because I'm going to do this, which is going to make them. I think he's making them. He's got them reacting on everything that he does.
And that's how they're doing right now. They're playing reaction.
Well,
and
look
he's
what he
playing
did.
action.
With the other thing that I liked is he said that we're going to take back the Panama Canal.
Yeah.
Not because Panama was doing the right thing and abiding by the treaty. It's because they broke the treaty.
Right. And he said that Americans built that.
Right.
It was for America.
Well, yeah, because we looked into it. It was 35,000 people that died of malaria. It was pretty devastating. I can't believe that they did what they did. And this was in, what was it? It started in 1919 or
Yeah. They didn't have the
They
technology
didn't
they
have the
had.
technology that we had, yet they were able to do this.
Right.
I mean, it's
And Carter just gives it away for $1.
yeah. Just see Carter. I mean, Carter was a nice guy, but he wasn't the person to fit the role as president. He was way beyond the scope that he had in the
I
possibility.
don't know what was going on. I mean, I wasn't that old. I don't think it was like 16, 17. But I just don't know what was going on in the world. I can't remember why he won. Because it's the same thing, OPEC and all that bull was going on.
Mhm.
I don't know what
What caused him to do
incentive
that?
that he had to give Panama the canal. Or what was going on in South America at the time.
I don't know. I remember the actor John Wayne, he actually, as pro-American as he actually was in favor of giving it to the Panamanians. That surprised me back then.
Well, he was probably used like everybody
Yeah,
else.
I think that might have been it because I was like, "What
'Cause if
guy?"
you think about it, John Wayne really didn't come out that political
No.
on anything.
No,
He just made his movies and right. I guess he liked his boats,
you like to. Well, I'm into Greenberg, the
boats
movie,
and hoes.
Bows and Ho yeah. I know that he did. His wives. I think he had 2 wives or 2.
But what I'm saying is, I don't know. Somebody must have talked him into it.
I was just saying, I think it's because of the influence of his wife. I think she was from that region of the world, so he
Talking
felt
about
more
that,
sympathetic to
talking
her.
about John Wayne, Gene Hackman, they're still looking at his death too.
And they're trying to make it like
big
what was he like? He's
95.
95 years
90s.
old.
He's gonna die, and they're just trying to make it look like somebody killed him or whatever.
Yeah.
All the time. But obviously it didn't get any traction.
So they're just
So,
letting it go down. But
yeah.
that's sad. I mean, 95 years old. The guy didn't have a really great life up until the time he joined the Marine Corps. So
But what do you think about Trump announcing $100 billion for U.S. chip investments from TMC? It's the TMC plan, and they're going to do semiconductors. And what's going to happen is we're going to go from like 10%
to 45.
to 45% of the world's economy or chip maker.
Right,
in
and
the
that,
world.
like we were talking about before, it's going to be for security issues. They won't have stuff on board that can route information to offsite accounts or whatever. So we got to have that.
No,
We got to
it'd
have
be
this.
us putting all the spyware in it to go to other countries instead of other countries
Just
putting
doing it.
spyware in it to come here.
Right. I
So
mean,
we're going to cut out the middleman.
right. Because when I worked at U of M, we used to have to go. If somebody wanted to take a laptop, with the programs, and none of the stuff we had was high end stuff. I mean, it was, but if we had to get it passed through by the Department of State or Secretary of State to get it,
If they wanted to go overseas.
go overseas with that laptop. I mean, we had to put a request to them what was on the programs, and they'd actually have to have somebody look at it. Now, I mean, how come we just something that these things be
I don't
imported?
know, but you know how many times I flew in the '90s with the laptop, and
Nobody-
they're worried about a
phone.
university. I don't know.
That was the memo I got. I don't know if they ever followed through on it,
But
they just
the
memo
one
I
thing
got.
that I didn't like is Speaker Johnson supports a spending bill and backs Doge cuts next year. He doesn't want to do it
No,
this year.
he needs to do
And
it
the
now.
thing is that, yeah, Trump can do all these executive orders, but if it's not codified,
That ain't
it's
gonna
not going to
check
go
out.
anywhere. I mean, as soon as a Biden comes in or a different type of Republican, everything he's doing can be all undone.
Real quickly.
But things like the U.S. aid, that can't be undone
Because I mean, it's like,
because that Congress would have to do something like that. I mean, it was sort of wishy-washy how they talked about it, and because it came about, I forget what the actual name of it is, but it came about it under
Kennedy.
and it
Right.
was meant for actually what it was is the seed money to get people to like America, to
Mhm.
do things in these countries, and it devolved into what it is.
Mhm.
And Kennedy's the one that did it, but it was like a gray area. But obviously, it's not that much of a gray area because it's gone.
yeah, it's got to because I mean, I was reading about the number of people who are actually getting benefits or relatives of politicians and stuff like that were getting money. I guess Barack Obama's mother years ago was getting money through his USAID, and she was never a true blue American. She was never on board for being. She was not a patriot by any measure. So I mean, this money's been going to counter our own interests all over the globe. You know,
What about Trump's going to make us like the lumber capital of the world again? He's going to put tariffs on cheaper wood coming in or lumber coming into the United States, but he wants to build up
it's
domestic
good.
lumber.
I think
think
that's a
it's
good
good.
thing because I mean, let's face it. I mean, we have a lot of hurricanes and stuff like that, and a lot of the devastation going on. We're going to have something to rebuild it. Why not? If we're going to have it, why not have the money circulate in our own economy instead of shipping offshore when we got to
But
rebuild?
I
what-
think
be-
Trump is saying is, hey, we need to be self-dependent. I think that's what
But
he's
wouldn't it be
saying.
better knowing what happened during the pandemic with the shortage? That there's only 3. I forget one, Georgia Pacific, and then I don't know what the other 2
Shipping.
brokers for lumber are.
Warehouses.
There's
one of the
only
things.
3 of them.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be better to look into them? Because what labor was saying during that time, like the people they're cutting
Right.
with, they weren't making any more money. The only people that were making the money were the
Three
people,
guys.
the distributors.
Right.
So wouldn't it be better to break them up? Haven't
Mhm.
they become too big?
Yep.
Yeah.
The same thing with our meat. There's only like 3 or 4 meat packers and big conglomerates.
Yeah.
They're
the
Wouldn't it
ones
be
that make
better
all the money.
to break them up too?
Yeah, I would think too. That I think that Robert Kennedy would actually agree with that because people like his view about health. He wants more local production of food sources, in the localities, like for our vegetables as well as our meats and our chickens and our poultry and our eggs. They want more of it instead of. Let's face it, it's easier to keep that intra check. And if something sets up in one area, you got an insulated area, contagion-free area that you can bring it back into.
But
so
isn't
there
it
won't be such a hard
interesting
problem.
how we have all these problems with the bird flu,
Mhm.
but Mexico doesn't? What is the is it too much heat down there that their chickens aren't being killed by the millions?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I mean, that's interesting because it's obviously bird flu is supposed to be, something that's going to be a problem with epidemic problem worldwide. Why aren't they suffering the same setbacks? That's an interesting point to
Well,
bring
they
up.
also don't wash
Yeah.
the eggs and they set out. I mean, because if you don't wash the eggs, that
They're fine.
protect I forget what that protective covering is on them. You can actually leave them on the counter for a week.
A week or so.
Yeah, see, I never. My grandparents had chickens, and we always washed them off because they sold them. They sold them for people.
Right.
We had a couple refrigerators in the barn where they come in and take 2 or 3 dozen at a time. Back then it was like a buck, yeah, a buck, 2 dozen.
Well, that's what they are now
Yeah.
in Mexico.
Right.
I mean, you see them literally. They're just in the aisle. The guy went through the Walmart showing that they have no problems with their eggs in Mexico.
See, it's like a lot of times we think we're doing something beneficial, but we're not.
Well, it was the same thing with the pandemic. Remember? I mean, you would have thought the whole world was shut down if you went by just the news in Michigan.
Right.
I didn't know like Texas didn't take part in it. South or North
South
Dakota,
Dakota.
North and South Dakota didn't take part. A lot of
Florida
states
didn't.
didn't take part of it. But in this state, oh my God, it was the end of the world. Remember?
Ohio didn't really take part of it.
No, I mean, we had this woman in power, Whitmer, who's still in power. She told us we can't do this, but she did everything she told us. The rest of us couldn't.
She
do.
was in Florida.
she got
having fun.
reelected.
I mean,
she was in Florida having fun.
How stupid was it when you could go into Home Depot, but you couldn't buy a rake or a shovel?
You couldn't be outside
because
paint.
they didn't want you or paint. You couldn't paint your house. You couldn't do anything. So there's no real reason to go to Home Depot other than you could for a minute, and then they would only let like 30 people in at a time. That was so.
It was
And then
so
you could walk
stupid.
down one way. That's all. And you couldn't stay there long. So
Yeah.
if you don't find any wire, don't wait.
But no, but getting back to the bird flu thing, like one farmer, I think you saw the piece too. The one poultry farmer said he thinks we should just let the chickens who do get the bird flu die off, keep the flocks and largely intact. Those who survive it now will have the resistance to protect themselves against it, and their offspring will have that protect. That genetic quality. So I
It's
think
just
stupid.
silly.
It's stupid, man. I mean, they were overreact in this country. Oh, we got to eliminate all possibilities. You can't live a perfectly safe world. You can't. You're going to be. I mean, let's face it. I live in Flint. Okay, there's a lot of bad things that happen in this town, and
Did,
you can't be safe. You can't.
But do either of you two remember anything that we talked about prior that maybe we should hit again real quick?
Well, I think that you brought up too. Also, we'll talk about Zelensky to some degree. I mean, we brought up him pretty. He
Your friend.
Yeah,
You
my
talk
fr-
about your friend.
my friend.
Your friend Lindsay.
Oh, Lindsey. Oh, yeah, Lindsey.
Oh
Graham.
yeah, that was weird.
he's
that,
amazing.
that Lindsey Graham came out against Lizinski.
I got-
That's the
But
first
that's-
time. I thought you were gonna have a heart. I was gonna call you if you saw that.
He did see it.
I did see it. So there's so much going on for the past couple of
Yeah,
days. I mean,
you-
especially after that big thing that
They take you to the hospital and you saw that.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's like, Lindsey actually he's not all eager to go to war. And he wasn't saying a damn thing about Israel at this point either. So, wow, Lindsey, once in a while you could throw us a curveball. I mean,
I wonder if he's running for election.
yeah, if he wants to, I guess. I mean, Ms. Graham there. I just can't stand the guy, though.
know.
I can't stand him or Dan Crenshaw.
Because when he was coming up, when I was watching the thing about Brett Bear, I was actually watching the thing and it shows Lindsay coming right up going, you got to get him out of there. He's now failed and all sorts of stuff. I'm like, wait, is that Lindsey Graham out there or is that someone impersonating him? I thought.
But on the same day, what came out is Rubio went to Israel and fast tracked $4 billion to aid Israel in their defense with the ceasefire with Hamas.
Yeah.
kind of, I think that one comes underneath the fact where Trump said, if you don't get this thing done with the Hamas, I'm
It is
gonna
being
say,
done, but I
but
don't
he
know
said that
why
if you don't get
they
it,
needed $4 billion.
because Trump told him if it's not done the way he wants it done, he's gonna say bomb the hellfire on them, Hamas.
Yeah, but why we don't need to? We can do everything offshore. We don't need to give them money. We got guns, but we got ships with missiles.
Yeah, we could just like, well, shoot, that's easily. I mean, the Mediterranean's not that far. It's not that swath of land is
But don't
not
you
that
think
far
we need
apart.
to stop giving away all of our money
I
and
think we
start
do.
helping people here in the United States? When you got somebody that's dying of exposure over the wintertime in Detroit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had two kids die in a van in the parking ramp of a casino down
Casino.
Detroit. Yeah, I mean that's ridiculous. And that was, of course, I
well,
question the
parents
mom on that.
neglect, but
Yeah.
still it
Right.
happened.
Yeah, it happened. I mean, it shouldn't happen. I mean,
But mine is this the homeless person dying.
Right,
And it wasn't neglect of the parents.
how many buildings we got around here in Flint that actually could be taken over, gutted, and have like separate
But
little
there's no
apartments put
money.
in?
What I'm saying is this money could be much better spent
Oh, yeah.
for that.
But no, we don't want to give social welfare programs to somebody because that encourages laziness.
But
So we can bomb the shit out of
But they
somebody.
had $2 billion to give Stacey Abrams
Right.
to give away however she wanted to give it away to nonprofits. But they don't. But it's so hard to get anything for anything that makes sense. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? They make it
No.
hard.
Right. I
Or
mean,
the other side, you got $20 billion in a thing that Joe Biden decides over in a discretionary fund that thank God Doge found and stopped. I mean, it's $22 billion. This man just willingly nilly just goes off and takes and puts away from our government.
can you just people wrap your mind around the zeros to go after those numbers? I mean,
No,
I
because
can't.
remember it was when we were growing up. It was
Millions.
only millions.
Right.
We thought $1 million was a lot of money.
Billions and
But
trillions.
millions are nothing now.
No.
You're poor if you're a millionaire.
You remember the Austin Powers?
know.
I want $1 million, and everybody's like laughing, like that ain't nothing.
And they
Yeah.
said, $2 million.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's just, you've
They're
been away for a
tired
while.
of Austin. But the funny thing is that how Joe Biden would always stand up there and say, "Pay your fair share."
Right.
That big thing about the Democrats.
We
pay
are
your fair
paying
share.
our fair share.
Then why don't you stop spending our money the stupidest way?
Because nobody's been paying attention. With the power of the internet now, they can't hide anything because if one person sees it, hundreds of people are going to see it if they put it on the internet or talk about it on the internet.
Well, I'd like to know why we have to give governments of other countries money. I mean, to me,
Well,
we pay tribute.
It
We-
started
we
out
pay
so
tribute.
we were buying friends.
Right.
It was like the
That's called
little
prostitution.
fat rich kid coming to the bus stop with gummy bears.
And it's
When
not
those
her-
gummy bears ran out, nobody wanted to be around the little fat stinker anymore, did they?
No, nah, that's a good analogy too. Let's why don't we just cut off all the funding to everybody to see who our genuine friends are? I mean, I'm sure Israel will no longer be our buddies if we stop giving them money.
If
I
you-
know
but-
Canada
But
would be.
even
short
foreign
list.
countries have PACs. They have PACs and lobbyists. They have we're giving these foreign countries money that they give our lobbyists to
Right.
give back to our politicians.
Right. So
Why
basically,
not just cut out the middleman? Just give yourself more money.
that's like,
That's basically it.
I mean, let's face it. Could you imagine amount? I don't know how we can even come to grips with the money that we're supposed to be owing all these people. We're borrowing money from other countries to give to other countries, and I'm paying an interest rate on top of that. How the hell is that intelligent?
It's just a silly world that it's trying to right itself, but you still got people like Tim Walz, Tampon Tim, that thinks he's going to be a viable candidate for office for president
Oh God.
Could you?
in 2028. What makes that man think that anybody's going to vote for him?
Just ego.
His wife and him will be the only two people.
Legends in their own mind. That's
Yeah.
what it is. I mean, well, look at Kamala Harris. Okay, could you imagine her staying up to Zelensky or saying anything to Zelensky? It'd be that's all I should have done. And
That's all
maybe
you
4
want?
more years.
You don't want more?
Yeah.
4
You
more
don't
years.
want
I
more?
get more money.
right.
You like my M&Ms?
Yeah. No, she's such a. I mean, I can't believe people took her seriously.
They didn't. The media tried to
Make her say
to force her upon us, and people just weren't. No, even you've seen it on TikTok. You knew nobody's going to vote for that woman.
I was like,
It was done. If Fox News and these other outlets, if we wouldn't have had them,
She would.
it would have been done at 9:00. The
I,
only reason the Trump didn't come out is because remember Georgia had that blip where they weren't going to have their full results until 10:00.
Right.
But by 11 o'clock, everybody knew Trump won.
I like to ask anybody who did vote for. I mean, and let's face it, I had some reservations about anybody I voted.
No, I
for.
didn't. I knew he was going to win.
But no, I mean, I knew we
Oh.
were going to win, but I was going to say, well, how can you say that you think Trump is no way as good of a person as Harris? Kamala Harris, she's brain dead. She can't.
I mean, look at the things that they commented. He is he's a liar. He's a womanizer. He's a racist. He's a tax cheater. He's went bankrupt. He's a felon 34 times over. He raped a woman in a dressing room,
Look at the woman. He's
but the
supposed to
woman doesn't know what store or what
What-
year.
marry. Or when he did.
But what I'm saying is that's what they come out with. All these things are wrong, though.
They're like, well, look at going back to Kavanaugh for the Supreme Court. Yeah, two women
Mhm.
accusing him of stuff, and then one later on retracted and said she never ever met the guy. But I guess he was still guilty of trying to molest her.
That was so stupid. Everything came out a lie. Remember when she had said she had to have a second door
Yeah.
put in her house so she would have a way to easily get out of there in case something happened because of Kavanaugh. And then you find out that her house was they made it a split level. It was a apartment that they were renting out.
Right.
I just both parties will lie, but it just seems the Democrats take refuge in lies, and when it's called out, it's found out. They are incapable of feeling any sense of shame. They are incapable of it.
No, and what's his name? What is the congressman there with the cane that was yelling at Trump?
Oh,
The
Jeffries.
black dude. I think he has dementia.
Yeah. Jeffries or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeffries. Wasn't he the same? No, that was the other dude that thought that if more people went to the island of Samoa, it would capsize. Remember?
Yeah, I can't
Oh,
remember.
that's the other black guy that does that. Those guys.
Yeah, he said, my concern is if we overpopulate the island of Samoa, then it will capsize due to the weight, not knowing that it's a freaking mountain sticking out of the ocean.
I just okay. And then isn't the Democratic Party always like priding themselves in being the party of science?
Yeah, but don't
Nah,
you think
those
that they should have gotten together and said, "You're too dumb to be in Congress"?
Yeah, just
Those two
And
guys.
you're an
but
embarrassment.
what was cool at the time that it was a military guy. I don't know if he's an admiral or I just remember watching, and that was a drill sergeant in Fort Benning, Georgia, watching it in the day room, not believing, but the guy was really nice to him when he could have beat him up. It was that was way back in like 1991.
I mean, we just have some fools running our.
But the guy's still in office.
Yeah.
That was 1991.
Yeah.
And he's still asking.
And he's
stupid
still in
questions.
office
And
today.
still asking stupid questions.
Yeah, I mean it's, and I guess you don't have to have brains or any kind of ability to be a Democratic senator, congressman, or any
No, or to
politician.
be a podcaster. We proved that.
Hey,
We prove that every
but at least we're saying, hey, look at these people who are even worse than we are. We got people stupider than us. I mean,
And that's why we love the politicians so much.
yeah,
They make us feel smart.
yeah.
They
I'm serious, especially when you got idiots like that.
And
I
the
mean,
journalists and the politicians.
But I mean, I thought he was making a joke when he said it because, like you said, because he looked like an intellectual saying it. Don't you think overpopulation? My concern is overpopulation of the
Samoa.
island will capsize it.
yeah.
when I heard that, I went,
Should we put him on the left or the right? Should we see that?
I had to hear it again. I went, he actually said that. Years ago we didn't have the internet. When that came out, that was
No, you had to catch
you
it.
had to catch it again and again. I was like, he actually said that. He actually said this. This is a guy who's running one of our people running our country. It's
And now you wonder where all the money is going to all across the country. all
Yeah,
across the world.
well, it's like basically here. I'll pay you enough so you don't reveal how stupid I am. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, I'd like to have people. I don't
But
know.
then-
Well, this
but
is
then
like
who I think is the stupidest people are the ones who vote for these people.
it's just like you go up to somebody. Would you like 10 pounds of pennies or 1 ounce of gold?
Mhm.
Well, I'll take the 10 pounds of pennies.
Yeah, it's like yeah, okay. Give me the ounce. I'll take it as it's more portable and not
Oh
about
my
that.
God.
I mean,
Oh.
what is gold? Up
What do
to
you
now?
got against that microphone, sir?
I don't know. I
You
think
want
I'm
to
beating
beat
it
up
up every week. I always do. I hit sometimes.
I do that. I do that myself on this when I gesticulate or gesture or whatever. I smack this.
I always raise my hand sometimes through this thing and hit it.
I always raise my hand sometimes.
Wow.
Okay.
So
Anyway, that's like
well, here's the thing. I don't know. The Democrats are losing. I think they're losing their grip on reality with everybody.
Well, I think just like I'm we talked about
Right.
it amongst ourselves. I'm more of an independent, or I am an independent,
Well, I am too.
Yeah.
and John's
We're
a
the libertarian.
libertarian. I don't like most Republicans.
I don't either. I mean, I don't. I mean, to me, it's like they have this view of the world that you got to be in this ensconced world. You got to go to
Except-
the right country club.
Was it Phil Green, right?
Phil Green comes in.
That guy's a good dude.
He seems like a decent, down to earth individual.
Phil Green.
Yeah, he's a representative for which district? It's here in Michigan. Forget which district it is. Do you remember?
No, it's here. It's around. It's Genesee County.
Yeah, he comes in a couple of times with Henry Hatter.
Real nice guy.
See, I like Henry Hatter. He's like Henry
Well,
Hatter.
well, we had two. We had Young.
Yeah.
Is it Young?
Yeah.
Young, and we had Green come in here.
And
Then what was that?
And-
Hudson. Anthony Hudson coming in here.
come in. Yeah.
Hudson and Young were like,
You
I'm
too.
a politician.
Yeah, they were like,
I'm whatever, man. I'm hoity-toity.
yeah.
There's
And
the
then,
bathroom right
then
there.
Green came in here and just, how's it going, guys?
Yeah.
And blah blah blah. And I think it was just like when these two politician wannabes, Young
Yeah.
and
And
Anthony Hudson,
Hudson.
was it?
Anthony Hudson.
Come in here, they're all about themselves and everything. We just seen it was like night and day when Henry interviewed
Phil, yeah.
Phil Green. It was like two friends having a conversation. It was really nice.
And he's like,
We learned a lot.
yeah, he's like, and he's also, I follow him on Facebook, and he posts a lot of stuff, information for his constituents to be aware of. And I don't see, I mean, he's got a genuine involvement with this community that he's
He's more like
representing.
but what I'm trying to get at is I'm for the MAGA people. I
Right,
mean, what
right.
I mean is I think they think like we think,
Right.
and that's a lot of thinking.
Where it's like, well, see, the Republicans tend,
And we're all thinking down the same thing.
they're both political parties are political animals. I mean, they'll do back their party regardless if they do anything good or bad. They'll still back it. And whereas the average person who connects to MAGA
But-
does have a conscience. They don't.
But
they
the
can't-
MAGA people are sticking together,
Right.
and I think that's
Killing.
the problem for both the Republicans and the Democrats is that they can't. They tried to overcome it, and remember they were always putting stuff out about Marjorie Taylor Greene being this, or I forget what the Texas the woman from Texas that they were trying to make her look bad.
Bobbert or Bolbert or whatever.
Yeah, but anyways, what I'm saying is they couldn't overcome it.
Mm-mm.
The MAGA overcame them, and there's some of them are still not accepting it. You've seen the Democrats; they're not accepting it.
No,
Right.
God, I mean, matter of fact, they're ramping it up and trying to demonize anybody who voted for Donald Trump. They're trying to make it sound like you're a ridiculous person. All your concerns, all your fears, all your hopes,
But think-
everything's all
Think
totally
about it. How
dismissible.
are you going to poo-poo everything that Trump did if come what is it? The next election is in 28.
Right.
How are they going to poo-poo? How are they going to say, "Oh, if the economy is doing well, I know it's going to be doing great by then." But if everything just starts leveling out and everything's looking good, what are they going to say?
Well,
Oh, it was a bad thing that we took Panama back.
what they're going to do is find anything they can. They can't let it go. They can't say, we like things as we're running. We'll keep our people in position with it because you allow us to be elected in there, and we'll just hum along and work together. No, they always got to say no. They got to demonize things
What
that
are
are
they
really
going to
good.
say is what I'm saying. What are they going to say?
Well, they'll find
It
a
was
way.
a bad thing when Trump took men out of women's restrooms. It was a bad thing when Trump took men out of women's sports. It was a bad thing when Trump lowered
Greenland.
got the eggs lowered because he actually looked into bird flu and found out that they were killing far too many chickens.
Right.
It was a bad thing when gas prices came down and stayed down from across
Yeah,
the government.
they're going to be creative though. I'll guarantee you they're going to find a way.
But I'm asking you, if you're going to say that, then back it up with something.
Well, I mean,
But they never
Don't,
backed
I'm
it.
saying just don't say it. I mean, it's easy
Well,
to
how
say
can I-
that some people are going to say
okay,
this.
how can I say that something's going to happen 4 years ago? I don't have a crystal ball in front of me. I can't
No,
say.
but what I'm saying, when you're arguing against something with me,
Okay,
either argue it straight out. Just don't give me platitudes.
I'm
and
not
this
giving
and that.
platitudes. I'm saying that they're
No,
going to find
gonna say
they're going to find a way of trying to
Okay,
twist
I'm
something around
asking
them.
you, what would be the
I
way?
don't know. Again, I don't have 4 years of advance of thing. They're going to take any opportunity they can to try to
Give me
say
an
something.
example. What
Well, say
can I
they.
do?
Okay. I'll do example. Just an example.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll say that the gas price is coming too far too down. Yeah, how about our environmental concerns? We're actually polluting the environment more with more available gasoline. People get to travel more, and that causes an increase in carbon monoxide and other greenhouse gases. How's
Right.
that?
A lot better, and that's what I want.
Yeah. See, that's what
The
they're going to
voice was
do.
good.
Yeah, see,
No, the
I
voice
want-
was excellent.
I-
I mean,
the
that's what they're
voice-
going to do. But I
But
mean,
no, that's what I want.
oh, okay, that's okay. I just thought you were just being confrontational.
No,
okay,
I'm
okay.
trying to get you
I
to,
didn't
to
know
say.
that was
I'm trying to get you.
Or that was a
I
Democrat.
agree with what you're saying. They're
Yeah.
going to come out, but I'm just want examples
We
of
can't
what
have
you
people have
think.
too much freedom because it's just not right. You know,
Exactly.
It's right.
That's
right.
what I'm
I mean,
talking
God, they think they're. I'm going to tell you where you went wrong with your life. Don't disregard my 5 past marriages and my drug addiction and my DUIs. I mean, no, I'm your life coach. You know, gotta look at that's what they are. That's what they are.
Right.
Oh, I mean, I'm serious. These people are. They think so highly of themselves.
They do.
They
And
do. They
we've
think
had
so.
some of them in here.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the clickety clacks?
Oh,
when they came in
yeah.
here?
Oh,
The
yeah.
clacks.
He got you wound
Floyd.
up.
Oh yeah.
Floyd, and what was her name?
Oh, Brenda.
No, she wasn't Brenda.
Oh,
when she
Mrs.
came in
Clack.
here. She was Mrs.
Yeah,
Clack to you.
she comes to our studio
For
and-
free.
For free.
We're
And,
promoting her.
and I'm saying, how you doing? It's her husband coming. I said, how you doing, Floyd? He goes, hey, I'm doing.
Because
that's
he's
how you
been
do
here
it
before,
before.
and he just talked to
Yeah.
her.
And I said, how you doing, Brenda? It's Mrs. Clack. Okay. Oh, I'm supposed to do differential to you because you're an old lady. Calling you Brenda, I don't think is a slap in your face. I just think it's all stupid. You know, I mean, I've said, call me Mister. Somebody calls me Mr. Wilson. I'm looking like, are you a cop? Or something, call me
No,
sir.
I don't like that either.
I don't like calling me Mister.
And
You know my first name. Call me my first
And the other
name.
thing, like you hate that J word. I hate to be called Steven.
Yeah.
My
That's-
mom called me that.
That's-
Most of the time it was Stephen Michael.
So you knew you're in deep crap.
Well,
doo-doo.
yeah.
I mean,
My last one, when my middle name came out before my first name, I knew I was screwed.
yeah.
But getting back to her, she was horrible. And then the two rich, they played like
Yeah.
they were rich. The two old ladies,
Yeah, they come in
for
here.
the Republicans that got snowed, and they took a lot of money from.
Give a lot of
Was it
money.
Winfrey, Bob Winfrey,
No.
the promoter. He took. Remember?
Oh, I know. I
I'm
don't
talking about the guy with the glasses and the gray hair. He was.
Yeah, Bob. Yeah, Bob. Yeah, that's Winfrey. Yeah,
He
this-
took all their money
Yeah.
and made them think like they were really something.
yeah. But Winfrey, like he's like, I guess his shining moment in life was he actually was helped Reagan get elected back in the '80s.
That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what he says. I mean, he's supposed to be like a political pundit locally, and everybody's like, there's a couple of them I think.
What
are
he would do
ridiculous.
is he'd come in and he would get this newspaper out of Canada,
Mhm.
and get a couple thousand copies sent out. He took. I seen him take $20,000 from somebody for literally nothing.
Yeah.
He tried to get money out of me. I'd go away.
You know, if you guys could come across a scheme for us to do that, we could reasonably get away with. Let us know.
But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
we've had a lot of shitbags come.
Oh yeah,
here.
and the Republicans that come here never, except for Henry Hatter. Henry Hatter now.
Henry
we
Hatter and but Moss,
Moss.
is independent. Well, he's a constitutionalist.
Yeah, but the rest of the Democrats.
Never made it, and we never asked for money.
No, we
That's
never.
the cool thing about it. Democrats usually when they come in here, they say how nice it is and they really like what's going on, and then 20-30 bucks not even asked for. Republicans, nice place, blah blah blah, this blah blah blah. Good luck with that roof,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
leave.
disappear. I mean, and they got deep pockets. I mean, we've had a couple of million multimillionaires in here before in the Republican Party in Michigan, and they don't do anything for anybody. They don't. And they always got the attitude, blow yourself up by the bootstraps. I did. So you were born in the suburbs. Your family your dad was a bank president or something. Like that. Yeah, you really did a lot of hard work there, pal. Yeah, okay. So, I mean, that's what I don't like about this. I am working class. I'm blue collar. I don't like the fact that the Democratic Party.
We're average people.
Yeah, see, but I mean, I grew up between the smokestacks of Buick and AC. Okay, my dad was a postal worker, so he didn't get to enjoy the benefits of being have a union UAW brokered contract, to work under.
He just had a government
Yeah,
government union
yeah,
contract that was
which
brokered
meant
for
that you could never strike.
you could never strike, and
yeah, they can.
not back then they couldn't strike.
No,
They know how without doing it.
Yeah, they just never.
Believe me,
We're
they
slowing
know
down.
how to do.
Well, I know
stuff in the
my
government.
dad does. I mean, he
It's
didn't
not a
want
slow
that.
down. Just take the first class meal. That's it.
Yeah,
Everything else.
and
back up.
take their sick day. And they know how to do it. I was government employee.
That's called blue
before.
flu.
yeah. It's like so. My dad didn't want to be part of that because my dad just wanted to do his job. He didn't like it, but he wanted to do it and get home. He said it wasn't the job that was bothering. It's a long wait to come home that bothered him. He didn't like they had 8-10 hour shifts. I went 10-hour, 12 hours, and 12 hours during the holidays. Mandatory overtime. Half hour, 10 minutes before quitting time. Another hour. Okay, Now, he didn't like that, but I mean, other he never bitched about it. I mean, that was his job. That's what he put food on the table with, and that was his lot in life. He never really complained about it. But no, I mean, no, I just the Republicans in this area, I guess that's ongoing by, and of course, it
I
looks
think
like
they're still the good old boys, and they're just going to get. I always laugh because it happened last time around. You get these Republicans that think they're going to ride in on the coattails of Trump.
No.
Last time they thought, during the midst, they thought we both knew they weren't going to get elected.
no, I just
You're not writing on Trump unless you actually work with Trump.
yeah, and that's like, I mean, could you imagine that's almost like money in the bank if you actually got Trump's endorsement at this point. I mean, if you were running for office, like, by the way, I just saw that one of the congressmen died right after the
Election?
no, the thing that last night, that person, one of the congressmen died. I think it was from Texas or something. Yeah, one of them just died. I mean, he was like an
Was he
office,
Republican or Democrat?
Democrat. He was a Democrat.
How would you know they died last night?
They
They were
just-
so stoic.
They just put it it was on the news this morning, that I saw. He just, like, so many hours after being there, he died. So I forget the guy's name. Black
It's fine.
individual. But anyway, so now they're going to have another election, I guess, to come up with his replacement.
Unless
I didn't see
well,
it on the
what
news
usually happens is the governor will
Yeah,
put
appoint
somebody
a
in
person
there.
to fill out his term or whatever.
until a special election.
But I can't remember the guy's name. It just before we got together today, I saw it and I went, wow, you never know when you're going to go. I mean, but let's face it, he sat there and he listened to the speech or whatever. And
The last thing he heard was Trump telling him, "Your party sucks."
but I mean, let's face it, Trump has come. I can't get over the fact
But Trump is Trump. He's not a Republican.
No.
I don't even think he uses the R word.
I never heard
No.
him say it. I mean, matter of fact,
He'll say Republican Party,
right, but he
but
doesn't.
he's
I'm a
never
Republican.
said I'm a Republican.
No, because let's face it, he played both sides against the middle. He had to, being a business person in New York, New Jersey, he had to be. You basically donate to both parties.
There's no reason for him not to go with open arms and say, I want to talk to Democrats alone without the Republicans and just let them have a bitch session. I don't want your leadership can be there if they want to. I just want to hear your gripes.
Yeah, that I think, and
That would help, I would think.
I think Trump, that is well within the possibility for Trump, because Trump is a person who can build bridges.
And I
He's
want to hear your
demonstrated that.
ideas. I mean, just because you're a Democrat doesn't mean that you don't have good ideas. It maybe, okay, you sounds like you got something going there. What I need to do to help you.
How do I?
And
get
then what
this?
could they do?
Right.
How can we work together?
That's basically, he's putting forth more than putting forth the olive branch if he were to do that. I mean, I would do that.
I mean, right now, I don't think he has the time. But once he starts getting things in and things start looking good, maybe do something like that. Or why not let JD do it? Or
That JD, so face it, I mean, the vice president typically doesn't have a very limited role. They're just in the wings
I
waiting
think
for
this
some
one-
pro.
JD
I think this one's got a lot on his plate. I
think
think
this was
everybody
wise.
in that office has more than enough to do every day.
Because face it, from his business perspective, Trump I'm talking about, he's not going to have people idling. He's just going to say, you're going to do something every day,
But
you got to
think
keep your
about it.
game.
JD Vance knows enough that he can speak. I'm not saying for Trump. Speak smartly on what
Right.
Trump wants. I'm not saying he's speaking for Trump.
Right.
Sometimes he is, like when he goes overseas and different things.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, like Lazinski, I think he handled that pretty well.
I do too. Did you hear that under his breath? I guess Zelensky called him a bitch.
Called the JD.
JD
They translated
They
it.
called him a bitch. I mean, that's
But the thing
contempt.
is, they could have made something of that, but they didn't
No.
because Trump knew
Oh, that's when
that
Trump came in from-
once that Zelensky, the shock of somebody treating him less than a hero
He wasn't expecting
wore
it.
No.
off. I bet you next time him and Trump meet, he'll be in a suit.
Okay, I'm a person who's I like casual dress. I don't like suits myself, but if you're the head of a government, going to another head of a government, begging for money, you're trying to make yourself look more presentable. I mean,
And then I would ask Trump, can we sit on a couch or something,
Yeah.
something with a smaller chair, at least for me?
yeah,
Because he looked so uncomfortable sitting on the edge of that chair trying to look like a big man.
Was that when he crossed his arms?
Oh
like
my God,
this?
he looked like a little kid. But
He looked like a little kid that didn't get his allowance.
I don't
That's
know.
what he looked like.
So anything else?
no, I think
Nah,
we've talked out. So thanks
That's
again
it,
for
sir.
joining us and
Let's
play the
do it.
music.
Play the music.
All right.